me the letter, if I'm confirming correctly, the board had voted to allow it to be on the ballot for the citizens to decide down the future. We as a board had voted to ask the General Assembly to put it before the people. And when that request went in, the General Assembly, to my understanding, and the Public Government Commission has came back and said that the fastest they could do that is 2027. And they believe that Rhonda will run out of money before 2027, which would make that impossible for us to function until we could give it time to leave it before the people. Is that correct, Madam Clerk?
That is what is outlined in that letter.
So the letter is saying they're not gonna allow us to wait for the youth to decide, citizens. They're not gonna allow us to wait. They're going to force our hand, whether we do it on our own or whether they do it for us. That is the way these letters are read. A copy of these letters are there in the back. Anybody's welcome to take them. And there are certain steps, if this board votes to do the intent to dissolve, it's outlined in the letter, that we would need to vote on. Now, rumors have been going around town that we will lose the fire department. I think I see the fire chief here. Thank you for what you do for the people. That's just not true. We have an exceptional fire department, but they're independent of the town of Rhonda. You will not lose any fire service. You'll get the same service that you get from the fire department. That will not change. People have asked that if we're dissolved, will they lose water? You will not lose your water service. Somebody else, whether it be a neighboring town, a new water system, a new water association formed by the county, someone else will take over the water system. They will set the rates if the town dissolves, but you will not lose water. You will not lose sewer. You will lose the street lights that we pay for. You will lose your garbage service that comes out of your taxes. You will lose having the ability to vote on representatives for Rhonda to make decisions. We will no longer have control over the parks. The cemetery will be taken over by somebody. Hold on just a minute. Whether it be the local churches, we can work out something with them, or whether it be the county, somebody to take over the cemetery. People's not gonna lose plots they paid for, it's not gonna be overgrown. Anybody's telling that, it's just not. Not telling the truth, they're telling you that. This stuff that you've been seeing on the internet, somebody's having a lot of fun with is Rhonda Elton. That's never been considered by this board. Jordantown Elton, that's just a hoax, a joke. Just to make that clear. But you would not have to pay town tax. One thing that has led to this problem is it was inevitable anyway, because if you look at the land mass of Rhonda, at what we have the ability to tax, with such a small town with really no industry to speak of, no business to speak of. People here can't afford major homes that cost a lot of money. The tax base is not here. It takes money to operate a town. That money mostly comes from the people, comes from you all. In property tax, we're the only town. I was told recently that we were, then I was told by a state senator, Eddie Seven, we're the only town in North Carolina where our property tax that we collect is less than the state sales tax revenue that comes in from the state. Rhonda collects about $70,000, and that's been generous with selling that property taxes for years. We receive about $220,000 to $30,000 in form of sales tax. Now, I think everybody in this room can agree that there's no way enough purchases are made in the town of Rhonda for the sales tax portion to be $200,000. That money comes from other parts of the state. And it's divided between municipalities, and I don't know the formula of how they do it. So basically, other people outside of Rhonda have been paying for us to get that. So the only way that I can see, and you challenge, please tell me if there's a different way. The only way I can see that we can move forward with the industry is to greatly raise the property taxes on people, because it costs money to run a town. People can say that we can get a grant. Most grants are loans. They're not free money. And if we're losing $25,000 a month, which we are, or $22,000 to $25,000 a month, every month we're losing. We're running on a bare bones skeleton operation, 2 full-time employees. We don't have a lavish office. We're not spending money. We don't have money to spend. We're not spending money on basically anything except necessities. Complete necessities. And by doing that, we're losing $22,000 to $25,000 a month. So let's say we did get a grant for about $500,000. Well, how long before at $22,000 a month before that? So the taxes will have to go up for this town to continue. It's just a fact. It's the way it is. I wanted to leave it to the people to decide the future. I wanted it to be on the ballot for the citizens to decide. I did not want the big bad wolf in Raleigh to come up here and tell us what we're going to do. I wanted to leave it to the people. I hate to see our community this happen. But the people of Rhonda is really changed, not this building. And we're going to be fine, regardless of what. Don't let nobody get you scared of that. You're all going to be okay. You're going to be okay. That's just as truthful and transparent and clear as I can be. Nobody on this board, college, no employee that works here, college. There has been no frivolous spending on credit cards. There's been no thefting. There's been no misappropriation of funds. There's been none of that happened in Rhonda. We have paid for what we got, what we've been getting is the essentials. I mean, I guess you could argue that the Porta Johns that we had to park wasn't essential. We voted to get rid of those the other day. They were $50 a month. We didn't pay for that. I mean, you know, besides that, I mean, we cut everything we could cut. And no matter how people wanna, whatever they wanna say, all the money that all of you been paying in tax, we're going to have savings. That started being depleted over a decade ago. Your tax dollars have been spent to bail out the failures of the water system outside the city limits alone. The connection to the water system in Elton is exactly what put us where we're at here today. This is not, I mean, I don't want any lies to prevail, and I don't like attacks that are with your lies. When people say, well, I've been accused of being a commissioner, many of us have. I have been before the Board of Commissioners in Elton, and I have tried my best to advocate for them to give us a more affordable rate and renegotiate the contract with El Ron. I've been laughed out of the building. So I've been there, I've tried. And that's what happened. Don't take it seriously, because they're making money off of it. Why would they? We have no control over what they do. The water line system that they gave us, up Austin Traffic Hill Road, it's very old infrastructure. It continues to break. And when it breaks, we can't fix it on our own. So we have to hire contractors. They have to be licensed to work on a commercial water system. That comes with a great cost. That is what has destroyed your tax dollars, to bail out that. We've went to the county of Wilkes, we've asked them to help, because those customers are not in town limits. We've been ignored for all these years. So we have tried. We did get grant money from Raleigh to address some of these issues. Senator Settle helped very much with that. Jeffrey Elmore did, he's no longer in office. Senator Stevens did. We were awarded those grants, $3.5 million. Well, then the lead hit, and we charged the contractors. Needed to go fix Western North Carolina, we got tore up. I don't blame them. It caused delays from us being able to use the money the state gave us to fix these problems that were causing ongoing financial problems. It caused delays. That work is finally being done. The problem is, we're at the financial standpoint. The town cannot survive for that work to get done. See if it's going to make a difference anyway. And will it make a difference? It's going to make a difference. We're redoing most of those failed water lines and those things. We're putting in our own well, so we buy less water from Elton. We can produce it lower cost. All that's going to help, but it's not finished. And I just explained to you why it's not finished. This is just the truth. It's just a fact. This is not political. It's fact. And I have said that one thing that could be a blessing if we do lose our town is that every 2 years we will not be fighting to see who gets elected over ordinances. We can be neighbors again like we used to. We can get along, and the division will not be here. That could be a blessing. I believe that would be. Because to me, town hall, I love this building. I love the people. But to me, the town is my neighbor. In one, that's my neighbor. That's it. Michelle, I mean, I don't know how to say your last name, sir, but you know what I'm talking about. Jim, we came together as a community, not as a town building. And it would have happened whether we were town or not. When this Marine and Stillman's house burned down, and we came together, church and community, we came together and helped. Yeah, we met at town hall. If we didn't have town hall, we would have met at church or somebody. We're still going to help them. You know, Chad over there, that's my neighbor, that's Tanner Armour right there, known him my whole life, knew his dad. This is what I got to say about it. And that's as transparent as I can be, and then, I mean, what I'm gonna ask the board to do is to set a time for us to have a meeting on Saturday, and in that meeting, we're going to decide if we're gonna vote for us to proceed with this ourselves, or let the state do whatever the state's going to do. My understanding, the benefit of us voting to do it ourselves and what's being recommended, and read the letters. They're from Eddie Settle, Blair Eddings, Dan Geiger, and local government commission. Read the letter. That's what they're recommending that we do. If we do it that way, we'll be working with the county, and we'll have a little bit of influence over the way that it goes. But if the state comes in and does it, they're just gonna do what they want. So, that's just it. So, what time do you recommend, Madam Clerk, we have a meeting Saturday? Do you think if you work to 4 o'clock? Commissioner Nelson, 4 o'clock, Saturday? He's on.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay, so we have, we're gonna have a meeting Saturday at 4 o'clock. We're gonna go over that. In that meeting, there'll be public comment. I invite everybody to come. Everybody will have the opportunity to make sure you tell us how you feel. We'll try to answer all the questions you have. We need as much feedback as we can get from the public before we go to the local government commission on Thursday. Thank you very much.